All right, hey, we're here with Brad Larsen, and Brad, I've known you for a long time, and you're one of the best implementers I've ever met in NARPM or in general. And you use all three of our services: our video tour service, our tenant screening, our leasing line service. And you said, yeah, I want it, and boom, you implemented, and you did it in a way that was very concise. And I notice when you go to a conference, we've got the Vegas conference coming up for the broker owner. Whenever you go to a conference, you come back and you tell our mastermind group that we're in that, hey, I've accomplished this and this, and you've just done more in the last 2 years that I've known you than most people get accomplished in 10 years of running a business. So what do you do? And how can you help our viewers as they get ready to go to a conference? What do you do to get things implemented at your business?
Sure, Todd. Thanks for the intro. There's a couple things I want to comment about that is going to a conference like that, you have to have your mindset you're going to put things into place. Otherwise, why are you going? So the first thing you want to accomplish is to make sure that you can see everything. Such as the NARPM Broker Owner Conference is coming up. We have multiple classes on 2 or 3 days that are worth. And you can't go to every class. You're only one person. So you need to find a note-taking buddy. So I've jotted down a couple of notes, and I'll go over it with you all. I really believe that note-taking buddy is the first step, or a staff member. If you can get somebody that can go to each class, you can circle back with them, that's going to give you full coverage for the entire conference. And I think that's a big point you want to take advantage of.
Yeah.
Other thing, I like paper notes. Now, you've seen people, they use their little thumbs and they do that. I can do that, but what happens is, and we talked about this earlier, is that paper notes you can write and not have to pay attention to what you're doing. At least you can scribble something down. But who cares if you take the whole line? You can't do that with a phone or an iPad. Now, yeah, you're going to have to carry around some paper. However, this gives you a more tangible thing because most people, when they write something down, they remember it better. So I think it's better to use paper notes. And the next thing I would recommend, just in kind of a tidbit before we get too deep into it, is I think you need to circle back daily every time you get an opportunity. Review your notes on a daily basis while you're in conference. So you don't wait until a week later. You don't want to wait 4 days, 5 days later after you get home, then take a look at your notes. Take 5 minutes every evening before you go to bed. Review your notes. Elaborate on what your thoughts were, because remember the scribble technique, you just kind of scribble stuff down as you go. That way you can complete the sentences so when you look back in a week or 2 days later, you know exactly what you were talking about then.
Now, we talked about how you prioritize what you're going to implement when you return, and you've got like a chart or a matrix that you follow. Tell us about that and when you actually are assigning your ideas that you get a value. Tell us about that.
So here's one of the charts that I drew out, and this will kind of help the viewers look at kind of what you want to do. And it's your prioritizing is 1, 2, 3, and 4. And clearly, the way I prioritize is what's going to make you the most money. What's the high dollar event? And I think you're going to want to go high dollar event with low time. So what's going to give you the most return for the least amount of time is where you want to start first. Second, you want to go to the high dollar event that takes a high amount of time because you may have to do some outsourcing. You may have to do some delegating to get that high dollar amount that takes a lot of time done. You want to do that second because that will make you more money than the low dollar amounts. And then you want to go to the low dollar, low time, low dollar, high time in your spare time. So it's a 1, 2, 3, 4 process. And if you look at it like that to give you what's the most return for your time, think of it just simply that way and start giving it a 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that can change. If you do that, it's going to give you a little bit more focus on what you have to do when you get back to your office and get going.
Yeah, that's great. Now, in our mastermind, you've always shared your notes with us, and I've always appreciated it, and they've been really, really good quality notes. Would you be willing to share your notes with anyone else who attends the event or anyone who's watching this video from NARPM? And if a Virtually Incredible were to host it so that you don't get hundreds of emails saying, hey, can I have your notes? Would you mind giving them to us, and we'll post them on our site on this page so that people can actually download them and use them at their business?
I can do that, but I'm not cheap. My expense is at least 1 Bud Light per note-taking effort. Understands that.
Well, there you go. And anybody watching knows what Brad's price is. All right, good.
5 bottles, preferably cold.
All right, now in a future, we're going to do 2 more interviews with you. We're going to do one at the event to see how you're doing, and we're going to do one with you a couple weeks after the event to follow up on what you're doing. So at the event, everyone will get an interview on how you hit the ground running when you get back to the office, and then we'll follow up with you 2 weeks after to see how you've done and what your progress is. So thank you very much, and stay tuned for the next installment.
Sounds good. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Bye-bye.